What's up, guys, and welcome back to part 2 of If You Go Down in the Woods Today. So we're at the tail end of Halloween and we've passed by bonfire nights, heading into the darker part of the year now, which is, it's called Samhain. So, going back to the witchcraft thing again, you're so dramatic, Andy. You're behaving like I took your finger clean off. I didn't take his finger clean off then, guys.
No, just
at all, but no, but you have to be so. Look at me, my wife's inflicted pain and agony on me on YouTube. Is that right? Because Andy's a Leo sign, which is the fire sign, so that makes him very kind of like proud and, you know, like I'm the showman of YouTube and all of that. And I'm the water sign, so I'm quite placid and gentle and just go with the flow quite easily. Is that right? he nods, and then in a minute I look at him, he shakes his head, and then he nods. You do it, you're just trying to keep yourself off the hook right now. So, anyway, we're up at the haunted, abandoned garden centre, which back in the day used to be full of stalls and plants and people selling different things related to the garden. So we're going to have a little walk about and we'll talk some more about witchcraft. We'll talk a little bit more about YouTube and getting involved with YouTube for those people that want to have a go themselves at doing it. And we'll see if we can pick up any spirit activity whilst we're on our route. And Andy's got some pieces of equipment in his pocket, but we haven't brought everything out with us because of the rain. This was the entrance to the garden centre, this archway right here. Comes up straight from the woods where we've just been filming. And it goes along. So we're going to do a full circular route and end up at the abandoned cottage. I'll show you around. So going back to witchcraft a little bit, tell you a little bit more about that. So,
and what people don't realise,
you want to come on this side, Andy? Then
you know, we're saying about there's different kinds of witchcraft.
Yeah.
Like Christianity, there's different kinds of Christianity. And the people might not believe this, but there are different kinds of satanic worship as well. Because the one that most people know about is the Church of Satan, which was started by Anton LaVey, which people naturally think because it's called the Church of Satan, but basically the Church of Satan is more about people being themselves, as long as they don't harm anybody, doing what they feel as though they want to do with their lives, and promotes freedom.
Yeah.
And not so much, you know, that it's more of an atheist sort of thing, and what they call the Black Mass is basically done as a mockery. You know, it's not so much as a ritual. This is what I've read, so don't quote me on this, don't take it that it's read. But other kinds of Satanism worship different gods, the same as witchcraft and stuff. And you find that some people cross over from with the witchcraft and the
Go and stand by the logs there.
and the dark side,
which a bit.
for me, that is what a lot of it has always been about. Probably not the most popular idea, but a lot of people nowadays seem to think of witchcraft as Wicca, you know, white witches and things like that. But for me, in the olden times, there were people who were accused of witchcraft who were executed because they were said to be witches. Weren't even witches, they were just strong women. But a lot of people who did practice witchcraft did use a darker side, because it was a way of getting through life. Because you needed, people were treating you badly, and you're not going to be happy with them, eh? So you're going to do whatever you can, or whatever is in your power, to stop them doing what they're doing, or get them out of your lives. So I think, as much as people say, oh no it isn't, it's not, I think for me witchcraft is about light and dark. It's about a light side where you don't particularly want to use the darker side, but you do. And people say, oh, but what about that law that says if you harm somebody it comes back threefold? My thoughts on that are, if somebody's already harming you, you're only throwing that harm back to them. And that's how I deal with that rule. You know, and
Yeah.
I think if people are causing you problems, then send that problem back to them.
Yeah.
Send that problem back to them and send it back to them threefold.
Yeah.
Because that's how you deal with things. You can't be all lightness and happy smiling, you know, all the time. That's life isn't like that.
No.
In a perfect world, yes. But that's how you use it, you know. That's my opinion,
Yeah.
and that's
So
what I think.
I believe that once you're a witch, it's up to you whether you practice light or dark magic, and it's up to you. And you have to perform light magic for certain things. You have to perform dark magic for others. So it's a matter of personal choice at the end of the day. But one of the questions I always get asked of people when they know that you do witchcraft and stuff like that is, do you dance about in circles naked under the full moon? Now, Andy, you want to answer that question? Do you want me to go on a roll?
Right, well,
Do you dance about naked under the full moon?
supposedly all these witchcraft circles where they dance around the fire naked are done in the middle of the night. Now, most of our paranormal stuff is done in the middle of the night. And let's put it this way, the last thing you want to be doing in the middle of the night is taking your clothes off, because it's damn cold, whether you're dancing round a fire or not. But no, the answer to people who want to know is the reason why people do certain rituals, and it's mainly initiations, because it's not so much, and people, oh, it's this, that, and the other because you're dancing it. It's nothing to do with that. It's more about shedding off your old life and bringing on your new life, your new start. It's the same as where you get a Christian, what we call it, baptism, where they put people in water, they go in the water and they dip them in the water and it cleanses them. It's a lot of things. There's nothing untoward about it. It's more about shedding your old life and shedding your old clothes and putting on new clothes, and that's what it's all about. The dancing around fires is mainly, and it's normally when you've got a bigger coven and you have one thing that you want to achieve, and that it's like what they call the cone of power. Dancing around frantically, it builds up an energy, and it builds up a bigger and bigger energy, the more frantically dancing. It happened to a coven, the New Forest coven, during the Second World War, when people thought the Germans, Hitler was going to invade Britain, and they did a cone of power. I think someone in the White House took over, and they did a big fire, they danced around it, and a couple of people actually died not long after that because of the heart attacks.
Yeah.
And it's building up that strength and that strength and that strength and that power and that power, and you're all chanting the same thing at the same time, and the dancing getting more frantic and more frantic. And you'll find this in a lot of African religions, Caribbean, you know, like,
Yeah, where they do the trance dancing and stuff.
The voodoo and the shaman, and he whips, and it's sort of getting people like into a frenzy and frantically.
Well, this is where the rave came from. You think about it, the 90s, the rave scene.
Yeah.
It's people dancing and working themselves into a frenzy and creating all that energy, and it's all the same thing, really.
And I've found that you talk about the rape feed and these cults where they do a lot of dancing, like voodoo and stuff like that, frantically dancing, getting people, and a lot of this dance music, the original acid house music, there's a certain beat that can actually, you don't need any drugs or out like that, frantically dancing to a certain repetitive drum beat or some kind of noise, repetitive beat can get you into a hypnotic state.
Yeah.
And that's a lot where it came from. I mean, obviously people started taking drugs, but originally people, the actual music itself, and there are frequencies of some kind of music that can take you into a hypnotic state.
Yeah.
There was a band who tried it.
I'll have to come up behind it because it's so thick with mud.
There was an indie band, and I can't think of the name. I think they were from Ireland, and they'd looked into this, and they played a gig somewhere, and they got the music to a certain pitch. Some people were passing out because of the pitch of the music that they were playing, and a lot of people said it felt as though they'd used drugs that night, and they obviously hadn't, and it was the pitch of the noise that had something to do with your brain waves.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
made them feel in a hypnotic state.
I know certain people who've given up clubbing and given up drugs, but if they hear certain tracks, they want to go straight back to clubbing and straight back to taking the club drugs, because the music either reminds them of that feeling that they had, or there's something in the pulse and the beat of that music that is saying you need to get really out of it to be able to enjoy this kind of trance music.
There's some people who you can get meditation CDs that are just like, people will think it's just weird sounds, but sounds are certain, and I'm not sure what they call it, binary waves or something like that, and these sort of notes get into your head, and it can relax you and take you to a hypnotic state.
Yeah.
It's something that people do, and that's why, you hear about, you see these spy films on telly.
Yeah.
Where somebody's locked in a room and they're playing these. The one, this classic Ipcress style, he's playing this music, playing this sound.
Yeah.
And it brainwashes them.
Yeah.
It brainwashes them, and people they actually do use that. That as soon as you hear that beat, they'll play that beat so you're in a hypnotic state. Then they'll put things in it like, you must do, when you
subliminal messages.
Subliminal, that when you do this, you do whatever.
Yeah.
And as soon as they can just ring them up on a phone, put this on, and straight away they'll go and do it. When they've done it, they won't know what the hell they've done.
Yeah.
And they'll just get out of the place, and nobody would even know.
But it's like spirit, like some people use those. They're like a metal ball, and you sort of go around it with like a mortar and pestle type thing.
Yeah, like a...
So they'll use like a steel ball or a brass ball or something like that, and they'll go around the inside of it and create like this one sort of note that could attract spirit. So I'm thinking that maybe that's like along the same lines. There's certain frequencies that attract spirit.
Yeah. It's like you find in a lot of witchcraft, pagan rituals, occult rituals, the bell is used a lot.
Yeah.
The bell, ringing of a bell, seems to be that note that spirit can hear. I don't know why, I don't know any scientific reason why, but yeah, that's, I can't think what they call it. It's used a lot in Buddhism. They use the bowl to get a sound, around the bowl to get the sound, and
that's the same one that can be used for spirit energies as well.
But yeah, it's a well-known fact. People, if you have a look at that, because it's a well-known fact that it is a well-known fact that certain sounds and everything can repeatedly play to you can affect your brainwaves.
Did they use it in the Second World War? Didn't Hitler and that use it to try and brainwash
Wouldn't have surprised me if he
soldiers and what have you.
Was that because
we're coming to the abandoned cottage now? Shall we go in? Let's go in. This is the abandoned cottage, guys. If you remember from one of our very early shoots, one of our very early shoots for YouTube, we did abandoned haunted woods and abandoned cottage. This is the abandoned cottage by day. Did actually used to be someone's cottage. Did actually used to be someone's house. But no, it won't, will it? No one, apart from kids hanging out here, no one comes up here. But it would have been somebody's home at one point. I'm just going to put my brolly down and have a little sit down. Oh, Andy, I've chucked it over there. You know what that means. You know what that means.
I know what that means.
So this is the abandoned cottage, and this is one of the first shoots we did for YouTube about 18 months ago when we first started out, and literally all we had was just phones. We did everything on the phone then, and I think we had like a really old camera. I say old because by camera's standards 10 years is old for a camera, I guess, and it was a camera that we had, and we said, you know what, let's just go out and film and see what happens. And then this happened, so...
What did you do before?
Go on, what did you do before? Remind me.
Remember what it looks like at night, this place?
Yeah.
Blair Witch.
Oh yeah, it's very Blair Witch.
George!
It's very Blair Witch. Even more so. Am I supposed to drop the camera now and collapse on the floor? What would you do now if someone bopped me over the head and I ended up on the floor? That would be too weird. Yeah, I hope there's no dog walkers coming back fast right now. They're going to get more than they bargained for.
I haven't got your map. I don't care about your map.
Oh, like Johnny starts shrieking at you now. The map! The map! It was in my pocket!
You're stupid.
Can you do me a favour?
I just want to get home.
Can you pull this umbrella up, please? Because I'm sitting at a really precarious angle. I'm trying to keep the camera dry and I'm trying to get the umbrella up at the same time. Stop shaking. It makes it look like you're on your nerves' wits' end with me.
No, I was shaking the brolly so...
No, you're shaking as if to say to people, look what she's driven me to. I'm on the verge of a nervous meltdown. You're making me look like I treat you really badly and stuff. You're not denying it. Notice you're not quick to deny that.
What makes you say that?
You will eat your breakfast. Alright, can we do some paranormal? Please.
Oh, what's that?
Well, you know, you did come up with a pocket full of gadgets. So, this is where it all started for us, really. Smithles Hall, the haunted woods, and this abandoned... Oh my god, I'm sinking down in the mud. Here we go. Listen, can you hear that? That's me pulling my foot out of the swamp.
And I've got a feeling...
Let's move over there. There's too much swamp going on here for my liking. So yeah, this is the abandoned house that we started off one of our early shoots, and I think if I remember we got joined by a family of owls, didn't we? Hooting away in the background. So we're coming back by daylight to show you guys just how overgrown it is, because some of these things we can't really show you at night. We can only show you in the day. We'll keep quiet while there's people going by. We don't freak them out. People walking past, guys, so we don't want to scare the crap out of them. If they come in, we'll only ask them. I always stop people and ask them if they've had any experiences, paranormal or otherwise. Why? Is there still a toilet in there?
Not toilet in there.
Is there evidence of a bathroom? See, it probably was the outdoor toilet back in them days. I remember my Auntie Angela having an outdoor toilet. She lived in a terraced house off Hallowell Road, and when we got taken down there for when she was babysitting us, there was the outdoor toilet. And I remember when my Auntie May got her first toilet put in with the dual flush. It was a family day out. We all had to stand round and watched while she flushed it 2 or 3 times and watched the balloon. Are you listening? This is the history of the toilet. So listen up. So my Auntie May got one of the first dual flush toilets put indoors of her terraced house in Wigan, and it was a family afternoon. We had a full like buffet, and we all stood around and watched while she flushed the toilet a couple of times to prove that it was like the dual flush and there was blue rinse going down. Anyway, that's the history of the toilet. So without further ado, we'll get back on with what we're here to do, the paranormal.
You know what it said then?
Go on, flush. What did it say?
No.
Go on, you can say it. No, say it again. Somebody's being sarcastic. Just say out loud what it said.
No shit.
No shit. So they're being sarcastic, aren't they?
I'm winding you up.
No shit, Sherlock. You know, like, because I'm going on about... Yeah, but don't forget, some of our viewers don't remember the outside toilet.
Medical.
And some of our viewers don't remember plumbing going indoors for the first time with the dual flush. So I'm just... It's history, this. It might be history of the WC, but it's still history. We leave no stone unturned.
I'm sure she... I'm not...
No
I'm
shit,
not,
Sherlock,
I'm
probably.
not winding you up now.
Go on.
I'm sure she said the bog is.
The bog is? Really? Is the bog back there? It's weird to call it a bog, really, and I guess that come from the Irish bogs. The weirdest toilet I ever saw was up in the Andes Mountains in Bolivia. 5 holes in the floor with literally no partitions or anything. 1 bog roll between 5. Anyway, we're straying. So, are there any spirit people here, please, attached to this abandoned house? Night? Yeah, we did come here at night time. Do you remember us? We came here at night to do paranormal on your house, and I think you told us on that particular
1200.
Yeah, but it don't go back that far, this.
Blue.
Low. So we're going to get lots of joke humour coming through now, aren't we? And this is what I was saying before about spirits can be funny. If they're humorous in life, they're going to be humorous on the other side. 1200 Smithers Hall, yeah, that was 1200.
City.
Which was still on Smithers land, so, but this cottage, it's probably 1800, 1700, 1800.
I don't know what he said, but that was...
Well, if you remember the last time we were up here, we got the messages that this place was flooded out, and because there was no insurance, they lost it, and it went to ruin. Is that right? The correct story with your house? Could you come forward and talk to us, please, and let us know if we're right? Has the EMF flickered at all? Have you got that cat ball with you, or is it amongst the other stuff? Alright, we'll leave it, because we don't want to get everything wet, did we? So, yeah, it would have been like an outhouse over there, probably for the bathroom, and this would have been like the kitchen, probably. I'm not quite sure if it wasn't like... I think that's probably the main house, sort of living room, entrance, front room, if you like. And perhaps the bedrooms were back here somewhere, or the kitchen. But the outhouse separate would have been over there, the toilet, so the layout is as you expect. I'm thinking the bedrooms are behind you there. Are there any spirit people who would like to come forward and tell us about this place, this house? Your time, your names, when you lived here? I'll just film them a bit, guys, for you and show you some of it whilst Andy's setting up the other spirit talker out. We like to try different things in case we get different things coming through. I think last time, if we remember, we climbed up there and we saw the remains of like a window frame or something. Let's go back up there and have a look. Yeah, so that's... I'm trying not to get the brolly tangled up. Put the brolly down. Right. So this is the outhouse where Andy was just now. Down there. Which does look like an outhouse. Does look like it was an outhouse or something. And the bedrooms, I think, probably would have been here, because there's 2 square sort of blocks bit like the abandoned hall or pt2 halls, but on a very small scale. Whereas that is like a size of a hall in it, but all in ruins. This is the size of just a regular, what I would call probably a small farmhouse, really. Let's see if Andy gets anything through on the phone app, paranormal equipment. So these phone apps, guys, you can download them, but there's a lot of mixed views on these phone apps. Some people love them and swear by them, and some people don't like them at all, and some people are half-half, like I'm very half-half with them.
I think if you get them for free.
The crap.
Yeah.
Because that time when I think the very first time I ever downloaded a phone app to try it out, because I think when you do this kind of thing, you're always getting different pieces of equipment and trying it out and seeing if it's for you or not. So I was on my own and I'd gone through the woods here at dusk, and I downloaded this really cheap app. It's got a picture of like a Ouija board on it. It looked good, so I downloaded it. It was free. And as I was walking down through the woods, the route that we've just taken on part one, I got this like growl, and I'm thinking, that's coming through way too quickly. You never get a growl like that, and if you do, you're very lucky, you know what I mean? I'm in the middle of a night, it'll catch you just for a second. And this growl kept getting louder, and then it started going, prepare to meet thy doom. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, we've never had this kind of paranormal evidence like ever.
No, but the spirit talking.
After that, I started paying for my apps.
Yeah, the spirit talking is a good one. It'll cost you about 10 or 4.
Everyone's using it now.
It's for some of the words that come out on it. You're like what that guy said to me the other week. You know, it's.
What did it for me with that app, like we said on part one of this Woods programme, is when we were up at Gallows Hill Pendle on the nighttime shoot, which is hung at Gallows Hill, and the word Alaric, we hear it whisper, and then it comes up on Spirit Talker, it's been picked up. And we didn't know what Alaric was, we didn't know what the word was it a magic word, was it the name of a witch, or anything, did we, till we googled it? And all we got was a 14th century barbarian lord from somewhere near where Vlad the Impaler was from. So I thought, what the hell's that got to do with Lancashire witches? But then, recently, we found another spelling of Alaric, which is Aluric, didn't we? Alaric, which is the first ordained priest of England in 1088. So that makes more sense to this country and witchcraft. That, for me, proved, beyond a doubt, that Spirit Talker works.
Yeah, because it's not a word. I didn't even know what that word meant.
It's not just that, but you hear it whisper first. If anybody wants to see this evidence, if you watch Witches Hung at Gallows Hill, the nighttime footage, when we put the Spirit Talker on, you hear a voice whisper, Alaric, and then it comes up on Spirit Talker, and then the Spirit Talker says Alaric. Yeah. That, for me, was all the proof I needed.
Yeah, because it was said before it even came up. So, you know. Is there anybody in this building who'd like to talk to us?
I'll tell you one thing that has gone missing. There was an old radiator here before, weren't there?
Oh yeah, there was.
Somebody's lifted it and waded in, probably.
Charlotte.
Did we get Charlotte here before? I'm sure we got Charlotte here before.
Is this your house? Ooh, it's a lovely house. I think that's just like a bathroom.
Over there. You'd have to look for evidence of plumbing. You know, like up at the Tockholes one, where there's evidence of sinks on the floor, isn't there, and old taps and things.
When did you live here, Charlotte? What year? How old are you? Not mean any harm, no disrespect. Would have been your house. Yeah, come here, some days you get them blasting words out, and some days it's as though it's hard to get anything coming out, isn't it?
I think it just depends who's here and who's not.
Yeah.
Because my mum had a theory on portals
It's,
when she was looking on YouTube for stuff. She thinks that there's portals like literally everywhere, and any spirit from any era in any place can come through that portal.
it disguises itself.
Okay, what are we talking about by it?
Yeah.
What is it?
We're going back to what we've been doing before. What disguises itself? Can you tell me what disguises itself and why? Why does it disguise itself? What disguises itself? What is it that disguises itself? Do we need to be wary of this? Will you help us? Gas.
Now, didn't we get along these lines before? Because in those days they would have had gas attached, but probably not electric.
All the gas, right?
Yeah, but these firms especially were the latest ones to get sort of connected up. So they would have had gas originally rather than the halls and that. The big houses would have had electric, but the farmhouses were later. Did you have gas supply in this place? I suppose it was a modern thing back in those days. Amazing how we take all this stuff for granted, isn't it, now? And these people it was all brand new for them when it got fitted and stuff. The gas and the phone and the electric and all that, we just take it all for granted. But these people, it was... What's that? I've never seen that before. Let me come over and film it. Don't forget the EMF meters though, but it's not flashed yet. And that's weird because it never stopped flashing last week when we were up in the Critter Woods, did it? So that just proves that there was something up in that woods, because that never stopped all the way through. And we got all them really negative messages through. Look at this piece here. This is like something that fell from the roof, isn't it? It's funny, lying at an angle, that. Maybe it's part of the roof that fell in, because eventually these places just go to rack and ruin when no one's looking after them or anything. I never noticed that before. Oh yeah? It's a bit big for a letterbox, isn't it? Maybe a giant lived here.
Is it a vent, some kind of
Vent, yeah, that's the point. It could have been, yeah. That's interesting. I never noticed that. All, a few times we've been up here, I never noticed that
Yeah,
before.
I noticed that before. It's weird that.
Yeah, probably was a vent, yeah. Maybe they cooked in here then.
You had a bad pass.
What was the path? Yeah, but they lost this place, didn't they? It might have been the kitchen then, might it?
Small kitchen,
Yeah, but kitchens were small back then. You couldn't swing a cat.
that could have been some sort of pantry or something.
Maybe, yeah. I'm just thinking about the vent. That would be for letting out steam, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, yeah, that's it.
And if they had hot baths in them days, they had to warm the water by the fire and fill it into a tub that's not connected up. So it wouldn't have been piped through. Not this anyway, because this has been derelict too long. So yeah.
Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
Hi, who are you, please? What's your name? I'm Alison and this is Andy.
Who are you? Thanks for inviting us into your lovely home.
We've come for a cup of tea. Are you going to put the kettle on?
Are we in your kitchen? Can you tell us what?
I'd laugh if you poke your head through there and there's somebody on the other side like walking past. Especially at night, wouldn't that be bad spirits? What bad spirits? And why? Why are the bad spirits here? I'm just wondering if someone's been messing about up here with stuff.
It disguises itself.
Maybe somebody's used this as a conjuring place. You know, like conjuring bad spirits.
It's big enough.
Well, it's hidden away in it. It's tucked away and it's secluded. So that would tell me that people wanting to do negative stuff will probably use this for that. Not going to get seen, are they? I've stood in a swamp now. I don't know why I moved. Just move back over there. Sorry if I knocked you out with the umbrella then, but my feet are like 6 inches underground here. 6 inches under, not 6 feet. Before you
Refuse.
refuse.
What, you refusing to let us in? Why? Do we look like bad people? We're not. We're just interested in your home and what happens in home. And why.
Has any negative stuff been practised here since it's gone derelict?
Yeah. Can you tell us who you are?
That's not flashed, has it?
It's not gone once.
Which is weird because when we were up the Critter Woods last week, it never stopped.
It never stopped. And there's
We had it put it on tree trunks, didn't we, to prove there was no electric there and everything.
There's no electric here.
So that just shows that we had a spirit following us about in that woods that
Yeah,
night.
it was up to red.
It was.
It was up to red and we were nowhere near it. I know this is...
And it matched some of the messages that we were getting through.
This is... It's not...
It's a bit flat here. I'm thinking it's more of a residual energy. Skeletons?
Skeletons.
Where?
Where are the skeletons?
Give me exactly the location. I'm just interested in case it points a certain place in this
Can you tell us where the skeletons
region.
are?
Where are the skeletons? Where were they found? There were two skeletons found not too far from here, weren't there? I'm wondering if it's to do with that, but that would have been 1950s. Well, the skeletons were only found in the 90s, really. But it's not too far from here, is it? I'm wondering if that was here when the house was here, or whether somebody's just dumped it. It's like a trough for plants, isn't it?
Cart.
Card? Cart?
Skeletons in the cart.
What sort of skeletons?
Did they take the skeletons away in a cart? Is that what you're trying to say? Just can you say
Yeah, but
yes
there
or
might
no?
not be human skeletons.
Were they human or animal skeletons?
I mean, I can imagine this place getting really damp when it rained down, and I think that's probably why it went to ruin. Because the last time we were up here, we got the messages, destroyed insurance, flood, all things connected to something that's been lost in a deluge of water, which is damp enough when it's rained for a couple of days. It's sinking down underfoot. So, I mean, it would have been storm flowers, but it would have been really damp because there wasn't really central heating. They made their own fires from logs and coal, so they didn't have the central heating that we've got now running under the floorboards and all of that. It was damp till you heated it, really. So I'm thinking that a lot of this place probably rotted through water damage and damp. And look at these vines, how they've took over. Nature's claiming it. It's like one day this place is just going to be gone totally. I don't really know much history. It was called the Tippet House. That's all I know. And now there's another house, a newer house further up that's taken that name of the Tippet House because it's in the same area. But this was, and I only know that from an old lady who used to live near me, and she said that abandoned cottage up there was known as the Tippet House, and she was born in like 1900 or something. So she was going back 100 years with the history of it. And that was about 30 years ago. And she was about 75 then, so she remembered it always as the Tippet House. But there's even cracks there in the walls where the trees are coming through. And this is the thing, back in those days, they didn't really survey underneath, you know, the tree roots and all that when they were making properties or buying properties. They just built it wherever they bought land, and now you've got your surveyors that check out if there's mine shafts or tree roots or all of that stuff. But now, back in them days, they just, if they owned a piece of land, if they could afford it, they'd just build on it. So literally, some of these places just went to rack and ruin, and that were it. No, you had to start again someplace else.
Died on me.
What, your phone? Seriously? What, you mean it's drained of battery, or it's just... Alright. Has it done that before?
No.
Alright, that's odd. Maybe something's drained your battery. Well, do you know what? We're going to walk down back to that archway where we started off, so we've done the full circle. Well, there was a negative energy here, that's what it said, didn't it? So perhaps that's took your energy. Oh my god, can you hear my feet? I won't be surprised if I don't leave my boots behind. Won't be the first time. Just back my way out of here. I've got a quick funny story to tell you about that, to be fair. Something I've just forgotten about until now. We go back to 2002. I went to the Peru, Bolivia and the Amazon jungle. And I was in the Amazon jungle. And they gave everybody wellies, you know, and I said, I'm alright, I've got these boots on. So they said, no, you really, really need the wellies because it's really sweaty and the mud can come up to your knees there, you know, on rainy season. So I'm like, yeah, I'm alright, you know. So I'm walking through this swamp and I heard another, and I left my boots behind in the mud and I walked off in stocking feet. And the Amazon rep that was like taking us, put your boots back on. I'm like, well, I can't get them out the mud. The stuck. It took 3 or 4 of us to pull them boots out. He said you could stand on a snake and get your foot bitten and then that'll be it. You know what I mean? There's not very good hospitals around here. And I was like, oh my god. So whenever now I have my foot in a swamp, stuck in a swamp like that, and I'm pulling them out, just that sound just reminds me of that experience. You go to these countries thinking you know it all, and then when you get there you really know nothing until somebody points out the dangers. So if we come down here, this is this side wall to what used to be the garden centre, and we'll come back to the archway where we started out. So these are the places where we go at night time to do our paranormal shoots, and we just wanted to give you guys a little bit of daytime footage and talk to you a little bit about witchcraft and ghosts and paranormal, and a little bit about YouTube. Like it's good to get started on YouTube and stuff, but I think the bigger you get, the more competition you've got, and that's when battles and wars can start breaking out between certain channels, which is a bit immature really. And really we're all meant to be one family, and we're all meant to look out for one another and sort of share information and be work in a positive manner rather than slinging mud. You know, I think always respect what another channel's doing and what approach they're having, and you know, network with each other, share experiences, share information. If one person knows a little bit more about something else, then you know, help by giving that information over. And you know, if one person knows the history of a place and another person doesn't, we all really need to work together as a family and look out for each other's safety and help each other out, because I think at the end of the day it's networking. We're all doing the same thing, and it doesn't matter how big or how small your channel is, as long as you're out there and you're enjoying doing what you're doing and you're sharing it with those people who really want to see it and really want to gain more knowledge of different things. That's what's important. And the stuff that's going on in America right now with the Conjuring house is absolutely unbelievable. They're all scrapping and fighting and arguing. It's going to court. The house has been seized. It's been shut down with big padlocks, and the lawyer's been arrested who owns it. And it's absolutely insanity. And that has all started out because it's become a money-making thing now, rather than one of the most haunted houses in America that all paranormal people should be able to access to gain their own evidence. It's now become the biggest slinging match, and it's going to end up in court. And it's absolutely insane to think that one house with so much history and so much paranormal activity, that they've made a film about it. And you know, and all that respect we should pay to Ed and Lorraine Warren has gone through the window because of all these blasted court battles over money and who owns it and how much they're charging and all that. It's gone way beyond an argument, and it's gone beyond stupid. And these are the kind of things. What's that?
Well, my phone.
Yeah. Just come down here. So what happened?
The phone had been turned off.
Yeah, it was.
It had turned off completely,
Yeah.
which would mean me having to do that, but it was in the middle of summer and it turned it off.
Yeah. Has it come back on?
Yeah. Yeah, it's come back.
It's come back on.
I've turned it back on now.
Did you get anything on the EMF?
Oh, I was getting it, yeah.
So maybe that back path is actually haunted then? Maybe this path is actually haunted then, but it would have been like a thoroughfare, wouldn't it, up to the road?
Well, you think when we were here before, we've had nothing, so
Yeah.
I think it's come down afterwards.
So you think something's followed?
For my phone to just, I have to press the button to turn it on.
Okay.
It had stopped the spirit talker
Yeah.
running,
Yeah.
and that wouldn't come back on. Then my phone just shut off completely and turned.
Something's affected it then,
back
hasn't it?
on.
That's weird. Something's affected that then, definitely.
I can't see there being any electric under here.
There isn't any in on. You can't explain that, and that happened at the abandoned cottage, really, didn't it? It started there at the Tippett House, Tippett House cottage.
No, it stopped.
That's weird. See, some things cannot be explained, even during daylight hours.
That stopped now.
I don't know what happened with that.
We've had nothing.
No.
We've had nothing. It just tickling. Nothing all day.
Sometimes you can't explain the things that happen, can you?
Explain that.
So we're going to leave that shoot here. That's If You Go Down in the Woods Part 2, and we'll carry on the next location. Thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and like if you like it, and don't mow us down in the street if you don't. And take care, and we'll see you very soon.